If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Altar Call. I'm your host, Tane. Today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind Sweden Season 3, Episodes 10 and 11, aka the wedding episodes. Usually I don't cover the wedding episodes for Love is Blind, but these people, they have a lot going on and we barely even had a wedding. In fact, guys, we had one wedding, which is one better than I thought was even going to happen. So I had to cover this and I had to talk about this. So before I go into that, a little housekeeping, reminding you that if you'd like to support the pod, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/altarcallmafs, where you can get bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, and you can also get episodes early. Some bonus episodes up there. 90 Day Fiance is up there. Bridgerton Part 2 is up there. The Part 1 of Bridgerton is up there, but it's unlocked now on the regular feed. The E version of the Tarot Doc is also there. Dirty Rotten Scandals, and most recently, Inside the Manosphere with Brian is also up there. Reminding you that on the regular feed, going to be covering Welcome to Plathville. That is premiering on April 1st. You guys are watching Love is Blind Sweden, and I love it. I got some fun comments this week. Thank you to Sophie D for sharing a fun fact that Angelica's friends, if you remember, Julia and Samir, who came together, and I think I had said, I don't know if they were friends or if they were a couple, but they were a couple. She says that they are married now, and that Samir is actually a big celebrity in Sweden because he's done like reality shows, TV, singing, and game shows. And I'm like, that's very interesting. And also kind of gives me a little insight on Angelica, because I think I had said, like, I'm not sure if she's fully here just for the clout. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. I'll tell you guys what happened this episode. She also confirmed that a Toastmaster is kind of like an MC, but it is a lot of work and a lot of like wrangling that has to be done at events. Also, thank you to Karen B for telling me that Daniel, our beloved Daniel, I'm saying that sarcastically, has been on several Swedish TV shows before, so she doesn't think that he's here for love. He was on a show that was like Jersey Shore, but on a smaller scale in 2011, and basically just go out and party on a smaller town. He's also been on like a cooking show. I was wondering, like, if he's done those, like, does he know Samir? I mean, they didn't cross paths, but maybe in the circuit, the reality show circuit. But also the question is, if you know Daniel has done a couple of reality shows, why did you cast him? Like, what about him made him authentic, or was it stunt casting? I don't know the level of his celebrity, so maybe they were just trying to bring some publicity to the show. I don't know, but it's just quite interesting that they would go that route. All right. We are picking up where we left off with Daniel and Johanna and him saying that he'd rather be in the military than be in this experience. So she confronts him and was like, "Oh, so you'd rather be in the military?" And he was like, "No, I said I would rather do that than be in this experiment." Like we didn't hear what he just said. He says like he's just being honest. But the thing is that she's part of the package and she's worth it, so it's okay. I don't know why Daniel think it's okay to say terrible things and then quickly like think that you're smoothing it over, and that's okay. Regardless of what you said before, you're supposed to just forget um what he just said. As always, they're eating. Again, I don't know if this has always been the case, but they're eating a lot in this season, but maybe because they're stressed. So they're just eating their feelings. So he brings up talking about the recording. If you guys remember, he had told her not to bring it up, but she went ahead and told her friends. She told Rania and Angelica, and they just went straight to him. And Daniel is obsessed, like looking like the good guy. So he's really upset that this came up. He says, "We agreed not to, but you came up and talked about the recording." He's fixated on the fact that it was her idea, but anybody with a brain can understand that she meant it flippantly. Like you're just talking to someone and you're like, "Oh my God, we're just talking in circles. We don't understand each other. I wish we could record each other. We should probably record each other and listen to this, and then maybe it will make sense." She didn't literally mean hit record and listen to what we just said and then do it in a weird way. And also, when it was hitting record, you didn't go ahead and say, "Okay, I'm just going to hit record and maybe that is a good idea." You recorded her for an hour secretly, and then afterwards you're like, "Ha, gotcha. I was recording you and this is what you said." He rambles on for what feels like forever because Daniel doesn't know how to have a conversation. A conversation meaning that the other person has to talk, meaning that he has to pause and let the other person say something, and then he responds to what that person says. No, Daniel just goes on and on and on. That she made him look like he was a crazy person, that she didn't say that it was her idea, that it doesn't matter what it is, they should land in love. And then, like I told you guys earlier, he's like, "Well, I'm falling in love with you." I'm like, "Daniel, you literally just said that you'd rather be in the military. And now we're supposed to believe that you're falling in love with her. You look miserable all the time. She looks miserable all the time. What is she supposed to do with that information?" Johanna's light is all the way off. It's not dimmed, it's all the way off. And she just looks miserable and is like, "You know what? I'm going to go visit my mom." And this man is like, "Why? We're not fighting." And I think, I don't know, do we have a case of arrested development here? Because he doesn't want to tap into his emotions. He doesn't want to live in reality. He thinks he's going to create his own reality. And he says all these words and think that because he says it, it's real. Like they were squabbling. He was accusing her of things, of making him look bad. How is he saying that they're not fighting? Because this is what he was telling the other couples, that he thinks that they're just talking and disagreeing, but she calls it a fight and everything is a fight. But that's because half the time you're the one talking and you're not listening to her. So she starts packing her stuff and he follows her for a bit, but then he leaves her. And then he goes to make a call again. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know why Johanna is still here. She needs to go. After a while, we see that Johanna has texted Daniel and told him that they need to talk. She's meeting up with him at like a outdoor, I think like a cafe or something. Before he comes, she's so nervous. Her legs are shaking, like she's bouncing her legs up and down. So you know that she's anxious. Daniel comes and is telling us that everything was fine since the engagement party, so he's not sure what's going on. So he sits down and she tells him that she tries to tell him that they've had too many bumps in their relationship in such a short while. And he's like, "Yeah, but we've had good moments too." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." She's like, "You're a beautiful person, but I can't do this anymore." I'm like, finally, free yourself of these shackles. Like, go back to Australia and be happy. Like, Daniel is not the one. If you guys remember, who she really wanted was Ibrahim. And he dumped her and went to Anila. And then she wanted to leave, but they convinced her to stay and give Daniel a chance. I also think that the ladies this season give really terrible advice. But I wish it wasn't so. But they keep when someone's made up their mind, they keep trying to coerce you into doing something different. And I don't understand why. So Danielle is crying. I don't know if it's real or if it's fake. And he's saying that he's so sad that she feels that way. But if he wasn't enough, like, yeah, woe is me. That he can't perform magic and there's nothing he can do, that he can do magic tricks, but not here. And I'm like, okay. She says she's grateful for their time. He keeps saying, I'm going to miss you so much. But when a woman's fed up, she's truly fed up and she's done. And she's so unmoved. And she's like, yeah, okay. She drops the ring on the table, says, I'm going to leave this here. And when she leaves, she holds herself. But when she leaves and she's outside, she completely breaks down and then she starts crying. But honestly, I think it was tears of relief. Like she's been holding so much on her shoulders and just putting up with this man's bullshit that this is probably just a sign of relief. Yes, she might feel like she failed and she probably should have just gone home when she wanted to. But it's okay. It's all done now. She says she doesn't feel good about what happened, but it's what's best. The relationship doesn't make her feel good, so she doesn't have to keep up with it. She said she is glad that she tried. He says that he doesn't feel good, and it's like, damn, another one that didn't work, that he probably could have been better at communicating, and he did try his hardest. He does throw in that Joanna, too, will attest to the fact that I did try my hardest. She knows that I did. I was like, does she, though? And that he even asked AI how he can become more emotional. And AI was like, yeah, even I can help you with that one. I don't know if he thought he was being funny with that, but there's a pattern. For those of you who watch Summer House, you'd recall that um, Craig, instead of seeing an actual therapist, went to AI and says he had a great therapy session with AI. So it's like, please just do the actual work and stop saying it. And AI does not equal like actual valid therapy. So I don't know how a man at 42 is not embarrassed to say this out loud from his mouth, out of from his brain, out of his mouth on international television with a straight face to say that he tried his hardest and his hardest involved asking AI to help him. That's insane. He's so annoying. Well, I'm glad that's the last of it. He does have a great head of hair, though. I will say that. Um, Laz, Eric, and Rania, they are talking about after the engagement party, and they're both praising Ibrahim and Anila and saying how they're so great and they're a sure thing. At this time, I'm going to talk about them, but Ibrahim and Anila are going through their own bumps right now. They have no idea what is going on. So Lars Eric and Rania are just saying good things about them. She asked Lars Eric how it was to see Danette, and he says that he's not thinking about it, that, it was a connection that he had. Now he has the connection that he wants to be with, and he has a woman in front of him that he wants to explore and that he wants to focus on. So it's not really a thing. He does tell us that it was easygoing with Darnett, but he's committed to making it work with Rania. But he has a feeling that Rania does not want this, and it just feels like she's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I mean, I will say Rania kept saying things like, would it have been easier with her? Like, things about with the faith. Yes, it would have been easier. Lars Eric does admit that, but he's just like, but, you know, I'm with you. So I'm here now. And that's the commitment. So there's no point looking into the past, which is the right approach. Like there was a connection. What are we looking into the past for? Like, what is that going to do? I still, again, feel that Rania is looking for her way out and just doesn't know how to do it. So speaking of Ibrahim and Anila, Anila thinks that Johanna and Daniel are alike because they're both hard nuts to crack. But I kind of feel like Daniel is a hard nut to crack because he's not deep and he's just shallow. And Johanna is just a hard nut to crack because she's with the wrong partner and she's miserable and she's trying to manage her emotions internally and when they're out, and also Daniel's emotions. So there's nothing to say. And when she does open up, you guys give her bad advice by saying that you believe Daniel and now he's in it to work for it. So why would she open up to that? So she brings up Ibrahim moving because he did say that he was going to move. And he's like, yeah, I hope I move. And she's like, excuse me. He's like, yeah, I need to find a job. And she was like, you're a doctor. You can find a job anywhere. And then he says like he has to finish residency and he doesn't even know if he's going to be done by August. And that, this is making it she's making it difficult for him because she promised that she wouldn't stress him about it. I'm just like, what is happening? I don't think I knew that he was doing his residency. I also don't know if it's just a translation and if that means something different in Sweden because yeah, that makes sense. He can't move in the middle of his residency. So what are we talking about? Because he told her that he would be done by August. Now he's saying like it might be longer and it might be in February. And so she's taken aback by I thought we had a plan. I thought we had a time and now you're backpedaling. And he's like, well, I'm the one making the move. So clearly this man does not want to move, but I'm just don't make big promises in the pod. Like I said, I feel like everyone just wants to go on the getaway because just be realistic so you can work through it. People are usually like flexible, but everyone is saying all these big things. Remember, he was scared of losing her after he dumped Johanna, and you're making all these big things so that she believes in it's like, okay, I'm going to pick him because he wants to do it. And now you want to backpedal. Yes, one could argue that the reality and the gravity of everything hit him later. But then again, be honest about this. Like, this is all very overwhelming. I think I'm willing to move, but it's just stop making big promises because you don't know how you're going to feel later on. So then he throws it at her like, you're not the one that has to turn your life around. And I'm like, see, I don't like that. If you're going to do something, do it, but don't keep throwing at in her face. Are you going to do that forever? When something happens and you say, well, I'm the one who gave up my life and you're not the one who did this. Like, just you made that choice. You told her, and she made a choice to choose you based on the fact that you were willing to move. But also, guys, if he's doing his residency, how is he able to take this much time off? Because you do have to take time off for all of the things, for the pods, for the getaway, for the living together. And I'm just, well, I want to know. I want to know the logic of that. Well, the how that works for him to take time off of medical school. I just always thought like med school was so rigid, so you can't do all this ins and outs. So yeah. Okay, so Anila says like there's big feelings. She has really big feelings for him, and she's scared of losing him, and she just wants this to work so bad. Anila is still so sure about marrying him, and she feels very secure um about it. And he brings up the moving. When he brings up the moving, she still feels secure about it. She tells him that while they are long distance, that there has to be effort, and they have to make sure they're communicating very well. They talk about an apartment and it's like, oh, what would you want for an apartment? He says he would want a 2 bedroom in case someone visits. And she's like, oh, I don't think that's what you mean. And he's like, no, that's not what I mean. But I think this season has people who are obsessed with reunion babies. Like they're just comments of like, oh, by the reunion, there'll be a baby or having a baby immediately. Honestly, these people are bold. Like you barely know each other. You're already ready to have a baby together. They're smiling at each other, so it seems like the tension that they had earlier is all done. Once again, they're eating, and I don't know. That's another part of reality TV is the fact that everyone gets to watch you eat. What if you're an ugly eater and it's just like, those people who smack everywhere? Like, I think Daniel is an ugly eater. And I remember that one time Lars Eric was eating yogurt and it was just everywhere and he was smacking. It's like, ugh. But yeah, you have to be bold enough to let everyone see you eat. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break here and then I'll come back with Erin and Angelica.
Over the course of my life, there have been so many women that have had an impact on my life, whether it's my mom, my aunts, my best friend, or mentors in my career. And I'm sure if you think about it, it's the same for you. But that's no surprise because everyone knows that women are the backbone of the home and society in general. But the many roles that women hold comes with its own pressures and mental load that can be isolating, and that's where therapy comes in. Therapy can help create balance, set healthy boundaries, and support overall well-being for everyone. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the U.S. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com. Watching our loved ones age is one of life's toughest transitions, and a lot of people are part of the sandwich generation where you have to take care of young kids and aging parents. I've been through it, and I've also seen some of my friends overwhelmed trying to balance kids, career, and home while realizing they can't do it all alone. It's a lot to carry. If you don't know where to start, Care.com is here to help you breathe again. You can browse background checked in home caregivers or explore local senior living communities. At Care.com, you'll find specialized support for everything from meal prep to support for loved ones with dementia, backed by real reviews from families just like yours. And Care.com has safety in hiring tools so you can hire with confidence. Or you can even get a senior care advisor plan and talk to a master's level social worker to build a personalized care plan. I'm partnering with Care.com because it really is an easier way to find help. For a limited time, go to Care.com and use code AltacallMAFS for 20% off your initial Care.com subscription or a senior care advisor plan. That's AltacallMAFS, all one word. With Care.com, start your senior care journey with confidence.
This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Okay. They're meeting her mom, and as always, Angelica is overcome with emotion. I understand being anxious. I understand being nervous, but it's kind of crazy how overcome she is by emotion, by every little thing. So she's nervous as usual, making all these comments, saying, "Oh, you have to hug my mom." Like she's just a tiny thing. She's saying that she doesn't want to disappoint her parents or make them think that she's not happy. And once again, it's giving that she's embarrassed by him. I don't know why she has these big feelings whenever she has to introduce Aaron to her friends or family. Like, I get being anxious, like I said, but she always goes overboard, and it just feels like she feels like they're gonna think like he's not good enough. But the thing is, no one thinks that except her. It When her parents come in and she gives them a hug, she literally starts crying. But it seemed to go well. They seem to get along with Aaron, because who doesn't get along with Aaron? And everything was okay. They go on their final date, and on their final date, he tells her that he's grateful and wants to thank her for making him feel loved and understood. He says that she's smart and he wants to have a future with her. He doesn't know if he's good enough for her, but he's going to try his hardest, and that he loves her. She laughs because she always does that nervous laughter thing. And she says she thought that he was going to break up with her, but she also tells him that she loves him. She gets up, gives him a kiss, and says that she loves him. She says that she's bad at expressing her feelings, but she feels the same thing, and she's looking forward to this with him. She asks him once again if he's scared, and he says nope, that unless she switches at the altar, then he's going to be really sad, and he's going to wonder if his perception of this was real or not. And she tells him that he doesn't have to worry. I understand where he's coming from. I think a lot of the times when this happens, what happens is the people involved who get dumped question their sanity. Like, how could I think this was so real and the other person was so riddled with doubts when I thought that, this was the best thing ever? Like, what does that say about me? So I understand him saying, like, he would wonder if his perception of this was real. Okay, we go wedding dress shopping, and the ladies are there, and they're talking about Johanna not being there, and they don't know if she was going to be there or not. Spoiler alert, she does not show up because they have broken up. Rania says how she feels uncertain and didn't expect to feel this way. Anila says that she's scared shitless, but she's excited to try on the dress. Lars Eric tells his friend that he doesn't feel okay. And what do you do when you feel like it's not 100%? Like she validated him, that's Rania, in the pods, but ever since they came out the pods, she has not validated him at all. Aaron tells his friend that he thinks that he has found his person and that he's looking forward to this and look very excited to get married. They come out in their dresses. I liked Angelica's dress, but I didn't think it was for her. I don't know. It's very pretty on its own, but it just didn't seem like it was for her. Ibrahim looks good. He says that he's happy. Anila's dress, it was cute. It was all right. Lazaric says, like, it's not about what he can do anymore. It's what she can do. He doesn't feel appreciated or affirmed, and this doesn't feel right. I think he's just had, like, seeing the tux and everything just gave him a light bulb moment, and he's just waking up to everything. Once again, he says that maybe this is a lesson. He wishes he was happier than he is, but the man looks very stressed. He has like bags under his eyes. His face looks very, very stressed. Rania comes out in her dress, and her dress is bringing people to tears. She thinks that she wants to fix, she thinks wanting to fix things on the dress or thinking about him in there means that she's thinking of the future because she was like, I would do this on the arm, I would do this on the waist. And she's like, since I want to fix things on the dress, that means I have to be thinking about the future. Um, Angelica asks her if she can see herself getting married to Lars Eric. Can she picture him at the end of the altar? And she says, right now, I can picture him at the end of the altar. She wants to go home and talk to him now and tell him how she feels. I'm like, I don't understand these emotions that are just up and down all the time. Like at some point, it has to be stable. We're now like a few days out from the wedding. She gets home and she wants to talk to him and she's excited, but I think he's been spiraling all day and he's just ready to let it out. And he speaks first. He seems very frustrated and says, like, she seems to be avoiding him. Like, it's one thing if your love language is physical touch, but like she's actively avoiding him. And he feels like she just doesn't want to be here. And she's like, if I didn't want to be here, then why am I still here? And he's like, I don't know. So she's trying to talk, but he does that thing that he does where he talks over her. And she's like, the thing is, like, there are all these things that we still need to talk over. They're going back and forth about what it is. And then she's like, finally, we need to talk about your faith. Like it's just like the elephant in the room. And I'm like, you think? Because I've said this, guys. Remember I said like they were so annoying because I'm like, you are not aligned in any way. Why are we here at all? You can't get over this hump that is his faith. And she doesn't even believe in the same thing. And she says, like, anytime I want to talk about your faith, and when we talk, you just think like I'm attacking you. Like, for example, do you think that if we have kids and they're gay, they're going to go to hell? He was like, I have answered this many times. It is not up to me if they're going to go to hell. Like, I'm going to love my kids no matter what. It is up to God. And she's like, I don't know if two people can be not wrong. I'm not going to say right. If two people can be not wrong at the same time, because she just feels like if you have your kids, how can you say you love them, but every time you look at them, you think that they're going to hell? How much of the acceptance is that? Is the acceptance going to be partial and not complete? And that's what her concern is. And he's just like, that's not on me. Like their eternal life after that, on their earthly life, I'm with them after they die. That has nothing to do with me. I don't care what happens after that. And that seems to be a problem for her. She says that his answer makes her feel like they shouldn't have kids at all. And he's like, I'm going to love my kids no matter what. Like, I'm not forcing my views on anyone. But I don't know how he doesn't understand, like, if you're going to be teaching your kids values and you're teaching your kids that, oh, if that's what you believe, even though he's just not saying it, because more than likely that is what he believes. Because if he doesn't believe that, if they ask you, do you think your kids will go to hell? You would say, no, I don't think so. But if you do believe that they are going to go to hell, like, how do you teach them that? And every day you look at your dad, you're like, oh, my dad thinks like I'm going to go to hell. Like, it's just a weird place to be in. And if they're not aligned on that, they are not on the same page. And again, from jump, they should never have been together. That was on him. That was on him and her. You knew about his faith. I know he tried to tell you like, no, he's not judgmental and he pulled the I have a gay friend, but you shouldn't have done it. You just wanted to win. You wanted to go on the getaway. From the getaway, I don't even think she's like physically attracted to him, honestly. Again, she lights up more when she talks about Aaron than she talks about Lars Eric. Like I think she thinks like he's a cute guy, he's an attractive guy, but he just doesn't do it, for her. And she should have admitted that from the beginning. And like I said last week, it's not like I feel like he should have been with Darnett because I don't think that he has a romantic spark with Darnett either. But it's just, guys, let's just be truthful and honest with each other. He says that right now there are no kids. So she can't use as an excuse that right now there are no kids for them to argue about. And even if they're gonna think that they're gay, it'll be 20 years. So allegedly Lars Eric thinks that it's gonna take 20 years before they realize that they are gay. And she says she doesn't understand why it's not important right now and he should give her a way to understand. And he says like he can't. And she goes, fine, if you can't, that's okay. And then she walks away. It should never have gotten to this place. So that's on them. We see him crying on the couch, and I do feel bad for him because he's filled with emotion. And he says right now he misses his mom because she loved him unconditionally, and he just wants to be loved for who he is. And for the last time, I just want to say, you can't walk into this might be a terrible metaphor, but you can't walk into a lion's den, get bit, and say, oh my God, it's not fair. I went there to just pet them and to admire them. It's not fair that I got bit. You can't walk into that, into a person who does not share the same beliefs and faith with you. And when they share theirs, you are hurt that they're expressing theirs because you also have yours, which, by the way, you are ignoring just to make it work with this person. Wouldn't you even want to be aligned? So, yes, you felt whatever you felt for her, but you should have just told yourself, like, a few days ago, I didn't know this woman, so I can live without her and I'll be okay and just walk away from that. So, and that's why we're here. The next morning, they speak. They're in the balcony. I don't know why they're here because the sun is shining straight into her eyes. Like she has to have her hand over her eyes. But they speak, and Rania says like they need to be honest with how they feel and how they don't talk about the future. And it is not sustainable to turn a blind eye because it is not enough to get married. He talks about the pods, and she was like, listen, we cannot go back to the pods. We were great in the pods. Now we're out here in real life. We have to focus on the now. She has realized that they like each other as people, but they don't like each other enough to get married. And there's no need to drag this out because love does not exist. I'm like, damn. He says he will remember the good times. And she says it's sad, but honestly, it's a relief because she knows they're not right for each other. And you guys can guess what I said. Duh. So he says for a moment he was sure that she was his soulmate, so this is very sad. He quotes the book of Job, and Job was a person in the Bible who loses everything and gets it back, and he hopes that happens to him. That was funny to me because, guys, I struggle a lot with the book of Job because that was a lot in there for someone to go through that much suffering and just to have everything because they were being tested. So when he quoted that, I was like, well, I don't know, Lars Eric. I don't know why you feel like you have to suffer to find goodness. Well, they're dropping like flies, guys. So right now we have just two couples left. What a season. Like they just need to do better. Everyone is moving out the apartment, and I can't believe it, guys. I blanked out. I was like, have we ever seen this where they all have to move out? We just see like the wedding is coming, and then the next thing they're at the wedding, but they're all like packing, moving out like math style. And once again, Angelica is overthinking and just worried about what's going to happen. My thing with Angelica is I really wish she would pinpoint or spell out what the issue is with Aaron. The only thing she said is that he's slow. Like, even if she mentions the part where he says that he wants someone to be with him while he builds, I can maybe understand that. But she's not really saying what the problem is with Aaron. And things that she's saying are superficial things that I'm like, I don't understand what is happening right now. I do know like bits and pieces come out every now and then. And the fact that she was not his physical type. I don't know if he still isn't her type. I don't know, but there's so much hesitation and so much, like, I just think, yes, she gets anxious, but when you're with the person that you want to be with, you should feel a sense of calm, a sense of peace. Angelica is not having that. In fact, she's having the opposite reaction, and she just panics a lot when it comes to him. So, and she's not good at expressing herself. All she does is laugh, cry, or throw a tantrum. So I wish she could just pinpoint and spell it out in words what the issue is with Aaron. Okay, I'll take a quick break and I'll be right back.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
All right, we are back with the Bachelorette party because there are now 2, and then there were 2. For the ladies, the friends are in their robes. I think they're by a lake or something, but they have face masks of their fiancés. And Angelica's friend Jackie is asking her what her fears are. And Angelica says there has been ups and downs, and there's truly nothing about him she feels will be a problem, that he's everything that she wants and, in some way that she needs, but he's very calm. um Jackie keeps probing her and is like, just say, speak your mind, don't worry about it, just say, speak your mind, what is the issue, like, what are the issues? She says, like, she's very silly and very crazy, and so are her friends, and she feels like she can't be herself fully in that way. Her friends are like, yeah, you have us for that, like, you need a stable partner, and then you can be silly and crazy with us. And Jackie feels like Aaron and Angie are a match made in heaven, and that he brings peace and harmony to her. And she's been with the high octane guys and it didn't work. And he'll be like a teacher for her. Like, they really like Aaron, and they're just trying to convince Angelica that he's a good guy for her. The guys also seem to be by the lake as well. They're in something that it looked like a jet ski, but isn't a jet ski. They can literally like squat in it. It was like a mini boat jet ski. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But it just seemed weird at the time to me that they're having this bachelor and bachelorette party without people from the pods, like people who have actually been through the experience and seen them through the whole thing, not there. But I guess that also doesn't beat the friends you've known much longer than them. So one of Ibrahim's friends asked if things moved so fast that he hadn't had time to reflect on the doubts. And I'm just bothered by this because the same with Angelica, why are we focusing on the negatives? This is the day before their wedding. Why can't we talk about what are the things that you love so much? And maybe they did and they didn't show it, but it just felt like they kept digging at them to talk about the things that they were worried about, which in turn is the negative. Ibrahim says like they haven't really run into any troubles. I'm like, huh? Why is this man lying? Like, we've literally seen you look so scared all the time. You talk about you don't feel validated from after the pods. You talking about you're not going to move without getting a job. You saying everything has gone so fast, but you're saying that you haven't really run into any trouble. So maybe he just wants to look like the perfect couple outside. Aaron says like they have argued, but the thing is that they know how to communicate. So they've, straightened it out. While he's talking, the camera spends a lot of time on Ibrahim, even when Aaron is talking. So I was like, are they trying to tell us something? I don't know. The girls are like in like a hot tub and they actually split in two. So Angelica is with her friends and Anila is with her friends as well. I want to tell you guys that at some point on Anila's scene, we see someone and I'm looking at the person. I'm like, oh my God, is this the first time we're seeing Anila without makeup? She looks like a completely different person. And oh, who knew her natural hair is curly? And then I realized that it was Anila's sister. It was not Anila. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, what a drastic change from when she has makeup or when she doesn't have makeup. But it was her sister. Just a funny bit to me. All right. Ibrahim said that the things that he didn't, no, we're still with Anila. And they're asking again, sticking on the negative theme, what are the things that he said that he didn't want when he was coming here? Why aren't we saying what are the things that he said he wanted? Like, this is just, I don't know. I didn't like it. So Anila says he said he didn't want a musician, which she is. Remember, she was one who sang the song and he proposed that he said he wouldn't move to Stockholm. And then the sister says, oh, what about the nose piercing? And she's like, yeah, he had an issue with the nose piercing. And she's like, if you notice, I'm not wearing it anymore. They seem to gloss over that really quickly. She's just like, oh, just like when I was wearing it, I wasn't thinking about it. The way I'm not wearing it anymore, I'm not thinking about it. It's not a big deal. I thought it was a big deal. Why does he have an issue with that? And then for her to take it off, you are kind of altering yourself in some bit um to make him happy. And I already think that Ibrahim is kind of insecure. And I just didn't like that. They seemed okay with it, but I don't know. To me, it was like, side eye. She talks about the tattoos also, that he would have preferred if she didn't have them. I mean, there's nothing she can do about that now, but don't know if it was the sister or somebody who says, oh, he loves you for who you are. It's not like he's going to make you laser them off. And I'm like, honestly, I don't put that past Ibrahim. But I don't know. I feel like his insecurity is going to make her want to he's going to want her to dim her light. Like, to me, it's a big deal. She took off her piercing. You guys let me know. What do you think? Like, I just think like it wasn't it seems little, but it could lead into bigger things. And I just feel like he might also throw in her face, like, well, I moved. So, if that doesn't show I love you, and use that and hang that over her head. The party continues and Rania shows up. I will note that two people are getting married, right? Rania and Angelica. No, not Rania and Angelica, sorry. Angelica and Anila are getting married. Rania shows up and she only brings one bouquet of flowers for Angelica. Like, it's just two people. The least you could have done was brought two flowers. Yes, you're the guest of Angelica, but you knew these people all along. You know the two of them. You should have just brought two bouquets of flowers and given one each. I don't know. That bothered me. I just thought that was rude. Maybe I just don't like Rania. I don't know what it is, but that was annoying. So the friends keep hyping Aaron, like this is Angelica's friends. Like, they're even saying like they will punch her if she doesn't marry him. But I feel like all this is probably more of a reason why she's going to say yes versus how she actually feels. Like, from jump, we can tell that she's not feeling Aaron. I don't know what it is. She wants to. She feels like she should. Like, she likes the fact, I said this last time, that he's considered the hottest person here, he's the tallest person, he's the kindest, he's the smartest, and he's everything. And she's the one who kind of like got the prize. But something is off for her, which I feel like she's not vocalizing. Um, we well, I think what it is though is, again, the superficial thing of, she wants a crazy guy that she can party with. I guess she wants a party guy. She doesn't want someone that's grounded. And that's kind of wild to me. And she's 30. So it's not like she's young. So I don't know. Well, maybe there's more. Maybe there is more. Maybe they had sex and it's whack and she just doesn't want to say it on TV. I don't know. But I hope we get more clarity in the reunion as to what it is that she was struggling with. So we get all the party clips. We see them, drink. We don't get so much of them from Anila, but we get a lot of it from Angelica. Maybe to point out how crazy she and her friends are. So Angelica and Anila sit and have a conversation, and Angelica asks Anila if she has never had doubts, and Anila says no. And Angelica says that she is an anxious person, but she's worried that she'll be overcome by anxiety standing at the altar. That she has never thought of saying no, but if she did, then she knows that once she says no, that they're never going to date because Aaron is never going to get over it. So Anila says that if Ibrahim says no, she would feel very, very deceived. Ibrahim tells Aaron that, he can be vulnerable with Anila and he can show when he's insecure. And, he did not mention the move. He did not say how he feels weird about the move and he feels like he's giving up a lot because again, I think he just wants to present like they're a good front. So as always, Aaron says nice things about her. That's one thing about Aaron. Even if she's not there, he says very nice things about Angelica, that he has never felt like wanting to be better for someone until he met her. But anyways, I feel like the girls definitely had more fun at their bachelorette party. So yeah. Okay, on to the weddings. It is the day of the wedding. Ibrahim and Anila go first. She says that she feels very secure in what his answer is going to be. He's saying, like, emotionally, he's 100% there, but he's nervous that he might have missed something in their relationship. I'm like, what? This man who keeps saying that they don't really have any issues suddenly has so many doubts and is like they don't know each other inside out. Um the friends this season have much better sense cuz they're like no, you have that ahead of you. Like it's not about the timing. Like you can always get to know each other there, but you know what you feel. Everything after the experiment wasn't impulsive. Like you've gone through experiences so you have enough data to make that decision. His friend does say that he's not really himself today. And you can see his friend was trying not to say, like, I don't know, it's not looking good, but he didn't. He said, this is Ibrahim, that in hindsight, it was naive of him to think that he could come this far relationship wise and know if they could be together forever. Anila, on the other hand, her mom and sister come in and they're like, hey, he could say no. And Anila is like, nah, he's not going to say no. I know that he's going to say yes. And I'm like, what is with the negativity? Can we prop people up? Again, another sidebar. She is sipping on her drink on the gold cup, and this is after her makeup is done. Her lipstick has been applied. Can someone get her a straw so she doesn't mess up her makeup? It's raining cats and dogs the day of their wedding. So, everyone's walking in with an umbrella. I'm sure it would have been an outdoor wedding, but somehow they had a contingency plan and it was indoors. She has a nice moment with her mom before going in, and she walks down the aisle without a veil, I might add. And the song that's playing is I Hope I'm the One. I'm a little nervous because I feel like Ibrahim is going to say no and they're the first to go. And usually they save the happy moments for the end. And I know that she wants this so bad. And I don't know if this is a hot take, but I want her to say no. I really do. I'm still stuck on the taking off of her nose ring. That really bothers me. So she's reading her vows and she says that the last time she sang this song, he proposed. Remember, I told you that the song was so good, he proposed, even though he said he didn't feel like he had enough information and he wants to know more. And so now she says, I'm going to finish the song and I'm going to sing this song. And I was like, you're going to like emotionally blackmail him into saying yes by singing the song. But yes, she starts to sing. And either Anila is so good or they played the recorded mix over her, but it really was nice. The girl can sing. Like it was really good. But it truly is a bold move doing that because there's a chance that you do that and he says no. And it's just like you just sang in front of everyone, in there. But he's crying. He's moved once again. And, many people in the room are moved. They are crying. Like people are just, wiping their eyes and not sobbing. That's an exaggeration, but they're truly crying in there. And might I add, in the last Love is Blind, Brian and I talked about bringing kids to these Love is Blind weddings and traumatizing these kids. There are a couple of kids in the crowd. So I'm just like, oh boy, how is this going to go? Of course, she goes first. Of course, she says yes. And then when it's time for Ibrahim, they give us like the longest fake outs. Like, I'm so prepared for him to say no, but he says, I do. And everybody's so happy. And I'm like, I'm surprised that he says I do. So we'll see if they made it through the reunion. But there we go. One marriage in the books for the season. One more marriage than I thought there would be. I was absolutely convinced that it was going to be zero. So then we have Aaron and Angelica. As always, he's saying nice things about her to his friends, and that includes Lars Eric. I don't think I realized that they were the closest, and Lars Eric shows up to his wedding. He says he's ready to stand up there and say his last words as a single man. Angelica walks in looking devastated and she's crying. And I'm like, okay, her nerves are getting the best of her. Her friend's walking and she tells them like they're not like dressed up or anything. And she tells them that this feels very frightening and she's worried about how things are going to turn out. And that's not how I should feel on my wedding day. She's like at the bachelorette, everyone was so happy for her to the point where Julia was crying and she's like, I want to feel the way Julia is feeling. I don't feel that way. But guys, where is Julia? Julia was not there on her wedding day. I don't Was Julia mad at her? Did she tell Julia and she's like, I'm not gonna show up for this mess. You're making a terrible decision. But Julia wasn't there. And if I missed her, let me know. But that's all I wanted to know was like, where is Julia? She doesn't think she should feel the way she felt at her bachelorette party. Like I said, they all tell her, this includes Rania, this is all wedding nerves. It's going to fade away. Nothing is perfect. Like it can all be worked out. That you'll be all right. Like Aaron is the best. She says, that how he is as a person is completely new to her. And her friend says, like, you should do what's best, for yourself, considering like you're a people pleaser. That was good advice. Like, just go talk to him and everything will be okay, but you'll be all right. I mean, Rania says all the things about Aaron and how great he is, how good he is. And I'm like, guys, you have to take into consideration the person that has the issue or has the conflict, because you may think he's best, but you're not in a relationship with him. So they're out on the steps when she calls out to speak to him, and then they hug. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this phenomenon where it's like you can tell if someone is into someone when they hug. If your pelvis is away from them, then you're not attracted to them. But then if you're like together, then it's like, oh, you're attracted to them. I don't know how true it is, but all I know is that when they hug, she hugs him with her pelvis away from him. Um, at this point, if I were him, I would be freaked out. Why are you trying to talk to me? And why are we seeing each other before we get married? She says that, he is calm and she can be crazy and she doesn't feel like she can be her jokey, lighthearted self with him. And that basically she tells him that this doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel right for them to get married. She said she understands that this is sudden and that she's sorry, but it is not right for either of them. And she doesn't feel like she's there, to the point where she feels like they can be married. The song playing is You Can't Break Me, but Aaron looks broken. He looks absolutely shattered. And he says, please answer this question. Those times that you laid with me and you said I was the best person, did you mean that? I was the best person and that you were in love with me. Did you mean that? And she says, yes, I did. That I am in love with you, but I'm not so in love to the point where I will marry you. And it's not anything that he did wrong, but it doesn't feel right. And she's actually disappointed in herself. And he's just like, I don't know what you want. I don't know what you mean. I don't understand what you're saying. And she's like, now I've made this decision. It doesn't feel good. I don't feel good about it. And now I have to process how I feel. I just want you to respect that I can't say yes. And he's like, of course I respect what you're saying. All I'm saying is like, I don't understand it. Like, how can you say that you love me? And you've also said that the worst thing about it people is when they go from 100 to 0. And this lady has the audacity to be defensive. She's being all defensive, like, no, I have to process everything that's going on. You made the call. You're the one who did it. And he says, like, right now, it doesn't even sound like you even want to be with me. And, why would she say that she loves him? And he says that, he wants to be with her. And that's the crazy thing, that he wants to be with her, because was it even real? And he says again, like, I don't understand and I just want to understand what was happening. And she's just like, well, this is a big mess. I can't talk about this anymore. I have to go. And I'm like, okay, brat, like, woman up. You said all this. You have to give him space for how he feels. He's the one who just got the rug pulled out from under him, which he just says. He was like, you just pulled the rug out from under me. I thought today was going to be one of the happiest days of my life. And then you come from nowhere. Guys, remember in their final date, she says, I will never, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to say no. Last night, when she was talking with Anila, she was like, she has never thought about saying no. So, which is the lie? Which is the truth? Like, this just came from nowhere. I mean, I'm glad she didn't want to go down the altar and say no to him in his face, but it's just, she has to understand that this has to be like from left field for him and completely surprised. I'm glad that she did it because he deserves better. But I'm just saying, like, I think she's just immature. I said that many times last time. I just think that she's not ready to have a calm life. She doesn't know what dating a non-toxic person is. So she keeps saying like she doesn't know what to do with him. That's just because he's not putting her through a roller coaster of emotions. Remember that time they had that fight where she was cooking and he spoke up for himself and she was like, oh, I'm so glad you spoke up. And he was like, don't test me. Like, I just let you do these things because I like you, but don't try to test me or try to push my buttons to see what I'm going to do. So she wants that toxicity, I think. And she's equating it to, oh, I can't be crazy. I can't do all. He's like, I'm not going to go out with you, but you go out and have a good time with your friends. What do you want your husband to go all wild and crazy with you for? Not to say that it's not possible or it's not happening, but if you have someone who it may not be, you're not going to get someone that's 100%. You're not going to be 100% alike, but I just think like there are other reasons and she's focusing on that reason. Because I think as her friends told her, they were like, you want the husband and the father of your children to at least have some kind of semblance of stability and sense, which he does have. Like, you're not gonna party forever. So why is that a trait that you're looking for, that you want someone who can party forever? So like I said, I still think there's more. Maybe something just didn't feel right. I'm not saying she doesn't have the right to feel that way. And just because someone is like a good guy doesn't mean they're the good guy or the right guy for you. Maybe something was off. It's just that I don't really trust Angelica's um decision making skills and intent, because I think that she's immature. So it's either she wanted to use the show to get her spring up on the fame train, because if Julia and Tamir are already like famous people in that regard, I don't know. Maybe she wanted to get on that. I don't know. But hopefully the reunion gives us more insight into that. Which, by the way, they have not given us a date for the reunion, but I anticipate it'll probably be like sometime soon, in a few days. I don't know. Oh, the one last thing. Did the guests get the memo? They never showed up. We just saw the empty chairs, and I'm like, did they just tell them, don't worry about it? Don't come here. It's fine. So just like Julia did and didn't show up to comfort her friend. So yeah, so that's it for Sweden. One of the most miserable seasons for the couples, but it was actually quite entertaining. So we'll just wait out and see what happens when the reunion comes out. And as always, I will be back to give you guys the recap on that. If you have any thoughts, feel free to send them my way. Always love hearing from you guys. Also call MAFS on all the socials. Until next time, guys. Bye.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial. If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.